for another Coffee with Kilroy, or what I like to call beverage in a book. My beverage, well, you guessed it, coffee. My book, well, is this really a book? It's a loose group of papers. But you can buy this as a book. This was sent to me as a PDF from Soldiershop Publishing. And they sent that along with another PDF, which was Play Ancient Greek Wars. And I've done a page through of that. I'll put a link to that in the description. And along with that are links, should be links to Play the Italian Wars and Play the Arab Conquest Wars, 633 AD. These are books. These come as books. And I bought these off of Amazon. And so basically what this is a PDF version of this format that comes in a book. And actually might be the better format to partake of these books, in that these are basically paper miniature books. These give you paper miniatures for different time periods. I showed you those. This one is dealing with the Landsknecht War 1500-1560. And so this is a very specific group of miniatures, and most of what this book contains is paper miniatures, color paper miniatures that you have to put together yourself. You know, have to make a copy of, and if you have the book, you're going to have to make a copy from the book. But if you have a PDF, then you can just print these out on whatever, you know, stock of paper or card or whatever you want to use to make your miniatures. And there's always a section in here on how to construct your miniatures. There's also going to be some historical context for this period, maybe even talking about order of battles. There might be scenarios, but there's always rules. There's a basic set of rules that these paper battles and dioramas use that are not complicated at all. As I said, they're basic, and I mean that in that they're basically a bare bones miniatures rule set for use of these paper miniatures. The other thing about this, as you'll notice as I kind of flip through this, is that it's from Italy. It's in Italian, but it's side by side. There's a side that's in English and there's a side that's in Italian. And one of the main reasons, as you'll see why this is probably good to use the PDFs, is they're front to back. So you'll have like miniatures on one face, and on the back might be additional miniatures, or it might be text. And so, you know, pulling that out of the book or trying to use stuff from there could be a little bit more complicated to make your paper miniatures. So the PDF version is a good way to do that. So let's get into this and page through, or flip pages as the case may be now, and see what we have in here. There's a cover page here. And again, these are available in book format, and I believe they're available in PDF as well. I got my books off of Amazon. These were sent to me by the publisher. I'm not sure the PDFs were. I'm not sure if I'm not sure where you get the PDFs. Maybe get it off their site. So you have the cover page there. A little bit of an introduction. This is the authors or designers, whatever you want to call them, the publishers. And I'm sorry if the ink is a little light on this. I decided to just do it on regular paper and use my printer, which is not the best quality. So if you are going to make these, then you might want to go to a print shop or get a good, you know, make sure you're loaded up on ink and get good quality paper to do this stuff. So here's a background or a preface for, and again, you see the English and the Italian for this this book, which is the Landsknecht War 1500-1560. There's always a section on how to assemble your miniatures, and again, both English and Italian throughout. And then you're going to get into the miniatures themselves, and they're usually very colorful. And they're basically a fold over. You'll print these out and then fold these over. And then they'll give you some bases to use in the book as well, usually. And as it says, as it shows here, you're continuing on how to make these. And I'll try to go through this one a little bit faster than I did the last one. But you can see the colors here. So even if you're not interested in the paper miniatures as such, but you want to get reference to like the color palette and painting, this might be a good resource for that as well. This is still talking about how to construct, and this is getting into the terrain and buildings and such. And the detail is really kind of cool there. Then you're going to get into some historical context, and that's something that's one reason why I kind of like these in the book format, because you've got it some of the background in the book. And so this is going into the background. And of course it's, you know, interspersed with the actual minis as well. Then you're going to get into the rules themselves, talking about the soldiers. Of course, on the back side of that are more minis. You can see the pole arms there. And you've got the formations, the deployment, the game sequence, preliminary bombardment, movement, shooting. This one's a little bit more detailed than the last one I did, which was the Play the Ancient Greek Wars. That's a little bit more simplified on what you're dealing with, because you don't have gunpowder in that regard. So this is getting a little bit into more detail on that. Wow, look at the color on that. And then you're down to melee and commanders. So, I mean, not the rules, again, not that complex. I mean, it's maybe a page, 2 pages. They probably could have put it on 1 page, but they have it split between the English and the Italian. Getting into some mounted units there, probably your commanders, standard bearers. Cool. Then you get your charts here, and the charts are in English and in Italian. You have your movement, shooting, and melee. Again, that's the rules. Very, very basic. This is mostly the paper miniatures that come in here. Then, as I said, sometimes you get into order of battle. Here's the armies, the organization, and both in... yeah, I don't know if this, it looks like it might be all in Italian. Then you, again, just more minis. And this is still going down into the organization, and then they have some illustrations that are in there. Then you're getting into some of the pieces for like your artillery. All the different pieces there for that. Talking about the camp, weapons, guns, and equipment. You got some wagons, probably some supply wagons. And then still going into the kind of the history and organization. Here's some bases, and here's some of your artillery pieces. Now, a lot more history in this one, or at least context. Now you're getting into artillery here. Dealing with different types of artillery pieces. So a lot in this book. If this is, and this is not a period that I don't think there's a ton of coverage out there. So not aware of a lot of board games on this topic. So this might be a good resource. sceneries for this period. Quite a bit on that. Then looks like we're getting into a battle here. Oh, they're talking about the Battle of Pavia. I'm known to butcher words. Here we go. More stuff there. Still into that battle there. A little bit of more context on it. As you can see, having the separate page to print these off of will make this a lot easier to use this. Plus, if you want to have multiples of any individual unit, you just make an extra couple, print out an extra couple pages. So here's the breakdown of the battle. So you do get some scenarios in this book talking about how to set up that battle. Talks about the historical out results of that battle. A lot in this one. And here's more detail on that battle for like setup. And I do have a war game, at least one, if not a couple, on that battle. And you have some orders of battle for other battles here. Sack of Rome, 1527. Some terrain or buildings. Trees. And then you have the rest of the books that are in the series. So I've covered that, and this one here, and that one. So there's other stuff here I might end up taking a look at some point. Well, anyway, I'd love to know what you all think. Here's the back of the book there. What you all think of these books or PDFs or however you want to, whatever format you're going to use for them. Love to know what you think about that. Is this interesting or useful, or just not your cup of tea or cup of coffee? Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Love to know your thoughts. Thank you for stopping by, and to let me know you stopped by, drop a comment, start a dialogue. Love to know what you think about any of this stuff. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. I'm gonna have another sip before we go. And thank you again for stopping by, and here's to having a good one. Go out there and have a good one. Thanks for watching.